What do you make of that?
I mind terribly.
You mind terribly?
I mind terribly. I mind so much because I'm not. And if it was...
Tributes have been paid to the Duchess of Kent's tireless work to help others following her death at the age of 92. She was married to the late Queen's cousin, the Duke of Kent, and became a familiar face at Wimbledon, handing out the winner's trophy.
Someone who did a lot of work on behalf of Queen Elizabeth then. Clearly, they were much higher up the line of succession, and they would go for the, those independence ceremonies, of which there were many in the 60s. And she was a very hard-working member of the...
Hi there, everybody. We're discussing a regal twist that has left even knowledgeable spectators were stunned. The unexpected death of one adored person, the Duchess of Kent, who exemplified poise and unassuming commitment, has not just brought sorrow for decades to the family, but has caused a conflagration under Princess and Prince William. Nothing is more appealing to Catherine. Insiders are muttering that this devastating event served as the primary impetus behind the future monarchs will expedite. They're getting ready to climb the throne much earlier than everyone expected. It's a legacy story, loss, as well as a conscious transition to a more efficient royal future. However, prior to being really involved in this emotional writer, press the like button if you share my fascination in royal drama. And sign up to remain ahead of all palace murmur. Let's start. The Duchess of Kent was born in 1933 as Catherine Worley. Not merely a holder of a title, she married the Duke of Kent, Prince Edward, the relative of Queen Elizabeth, back in 1961. Entering a life of subtly serving others has characterized her for more than 60 years. In contrast to the more flamboyant members of the family, she liked the darkness better, concentrating on causes that are important to her, such as teaching music and providing for people that are less fortunate. Her attendance at the key events, ranging from Wimbledon demonstrations to peaceful family get-togethers, turned her into a stable anchor in an occasionally choppy organization. However, beneath that poised outside, she developed close relationships with the younger generation, such as William and Catherine, whom she observed developing and entering their positions with a sense of pride and mild direction. Imagine this: a female who were present at their 2011 wedding from the pews, grinning as the world honored the union of the fairy tale. Quick now, let's go on to her passing. The 92-year-old on September 4th, 2025 has revealed facets of the royal past, revealing weaknesses that were invisible approaching. Buckingham Palace declared the news with deep sadness, declaring that she died quietly in Kensington Palace, encircled by family members. It was a moment that stopped the busy world in its tracks of royalty, compelling everyone to acknowledge the vulnerability of their close-knit group. Additionally, for William, and this wasn't simply another Catherine loss. This served as a clear reminder of the throne's unrelenting advance. 1. According to insiders, a switch was flicked in their attitude on responsibility and fate. Now, let's go back a little to comprehend just the degree to which the Duchess of Kent's William and his path in life today, Catherine, is on. From the first, Catherine joined the family, provided a feeling of humanity and normalcy, to the splendor of life in the royal court. She and Prince Edward reared their kids, Helen and George, with an emphasis on public service and education, much like Catherine and William used their own tiny ones. Family-related sources remember how she frequently told tales about her own first marriage, providing pearls of knowledge for the young couple at Windsor during a private tease. Consider regarding the same experiences that both couples managed, the demands of public scrutiny, while attempting to construct private family lives. The Duchess, who is well known because of her passion for the arts, even inspiring Catherine's early musical patronage, his charitable endeavors, gently influencing the Princess of Wales into the sympathetic figure that we see today. However, as time passed, her health started to deteriorate, resulting in a life that is more solitary. She avoided most public engagements in 2015, but she continued to be a beloved presence, particularly during family landmarks. Recall her showing up at the 2013 christening of George? The photograph's subdued smile said a great deal about the generational bonds securing the Windsors. Insiders assembled. From this observation from seasoned palace employees, she observed that William frequently looked for her guidance on striking a balance between fatherhood and royal duties. She was like a wise aunt to him, a single source revealed, highlighting her part in guiding the heir apparent. Her house in Norfolk, close to Anmer Hall, where William and Catherine often withdraw, encouraged even deeper ties. Royal Reporter's reports emphasize the Duchess's expression of sadness upon the departure of a nearby missing person and the closeness to the property, the Cambridge family. This wasn't just coincidental. It served as a support system that went beyond ancestry. As the oldest royal family member still alive prior to her death, her departure had created a gap that was pressuring younger royals to take the initiative. Palace. Watchers utilizing historical documents and, according to recent interviews, her effect persisted subtly in ways such as her support of privacy, which was reflected in William's personal advocacy for media limits. But now that she's gone, the burden of succession feels more burdensome, which leads to Catherine and William reviewing their chronology. Her life seems to have been a bridge across time periods, and that bridge now is extinct, encouraging the following generation to enter their designated roles with renewed pressing need. The announcement came as a September 5, 2025, thunderclap when Buckingham Palace released an official declaration verifying the Duchess of Kent's quiet nighttime stroll previously. With much sadness, it said, describing how she disappeared at their longtime home, Kensington Palace, surrounded by relatives. The word's simplicity concealed the significant influence reverberating across royal circles and beyond. Broad and tabloid. Both sheets hurried to cover the narrative, drawing from both new and old quotations to illustrate the personality of a woman who had a profound, although subtle, impact on people. The BBC made headlines about her first. Wimbledon Legacy, in which she gave awards with that certain coziness. As The Guardian concentrated on her charity activities that helped numerous communities. However, behind the public persona, the psychological impact on the family was huge. William, as well as already negotiating their own, Catherine difficulties, were reportedly saddened, according to sources. They spent the evening in contemplation at their Windsor residence. This declaration wasn't merely an obituary. It was a crucial point in the monarchy's changing terrain. Royal specialists gathering information from briefings at the palace and historical predecessors observed that such internal transformations are frequently accelerated by losses. Insiders in this instance leaked to media outlets, such as The Sun, which triggered conversations within the close family regarding the future. It was the trigger, a single confidant disclosed in an anonymous manner, indicating the passing of the Duchess brought to light the senior royals' pool is getting smaller, ready to do duties. With Charles the King III's persistent health issues in the background, the strain increased on the direct heir, William. Catherine, always the encouraging companion, was crucial to these discussions, drawing strength derived from her personal encounters with loss. The palace's calm reaction, steering clear of sensationalism, permitted the family space for a private grieving process. Yet, the social undercurrents were evident. The media was ablaze with homages, and even on platforms such as X, users exchanged memories of her elegance, enhancing the narrative's reach. By compiling these strings of official statements and eyewitnesses, it's clear from accounts that this wasn't a singular incident. The spark that sparked a wider discussion regarding reform and preparedness inside the monarchy. As the dust descended from the tributes came pouring in. However, none were more significant than those directly from William and Catherine. In a moving declaration made public by the Prince, Kensington Palace and the Duchess, the Princess of Wales was described. As a family member who is greatly missed, they put forth endless effort to assist others. Their statements, taken straight from the official publication, presented an image of profound love and regard, highlighting how her advice influenced their strategy to serve in the royal service. Especially William remembered private discussions, in which she counseled on the value of empathy and lessons in leadership that he is currently using. As Catherine said, he looks at the throne. This emphasizes the Duchess's contribution to motivating her efforts in mental wellness, a link derived from common family law and patronages. Royal observers assembling these components have seen this from interviews and previous events. It was a public event, not just a formality. Recognition of a close relationship, created during many years of silent exchanges during gatherings such as the Qatar 2024 exhibition, where they were looking at royal artifacts side by side. Insiders talking to reporters from publications such as Vanity Fair disclosed that the pair paid her a visit during her last months, providing consolation and offering advice she advised them to one source. Get ready now, not later, asserted, clearly connecting her death to their increased sense of obligation. The outpouring of emotions spread to other relatives of Prince Harry as well, expressing respect and implying a quick thaw in conflicts. By gathering these both official quotations and personal tales, the story begins with a loss that was inspiring as well as melancholy. It was a call for William and Catherine, forcing them to take action and solidify intentions to assume more obligations, maybe even more closely observing the king closely over the next few months. Tribute acted as a link between the past and as well as the future, reminding everyone that the power of monarchy resides in its human relationships. Going further, the Duchess of Kent's passing has exposed the truth about reducing the number of working royals that is compelling William and Catherine to face their imminent responsibilities head-on. With less senior personnel accessible, the weight of commitments disproportionately affects the younger generation. According to insiders, this was the tipping point for Wales. Based on current evaluations in periodicals such as People magazine, specialists observed that the family has been getting George ready for his fate. However, the Duchess's death hastened that timeline. It's created them understand that time is less than. According to a royal insider, reporters are highlighting the tactical change. Williams intends to create a modernized reign prioritized for environmental issues, and the importance of family balance has increased, particularly in light of King Charles's rumors assigning additional tasks. Catherine's recuperation from medical struggles has also contributed to this, with sources showing the incident made her more determined. By looking at succession charts and recent actions such as the family's moving to Forest Lodge, it's obvious they are constructing a solid foundation for the future. This grief-compiled loss family meetings and therapy sessions have brought them together, transforming grief into a goal. The main catalyst in this case is without a doubt. Without the Duchess's consistent presence, the throne's way feels more urgent, forcing William and Catherine to take the lead in changing the organization. Behind closed doors, the actual narrative is revealed through whispers from knowledgeable people. Royal insiders interviewed tabloid leakers, and biographers elucidate the Duchess's last days, including sincere conversations with William. She was the glue that held the legacy and loss together. Preserving customs, one person stated, demonstrating how her counsel led to the pair having to create backup plans for ascending. Collecting information from these private conversations and palace logs, it was clear that the death brought back memories of the death of Queen Elizabeth, but with a twist. It emphasized the necessity of proactive planning. Catherine, using her own tenacity, advocated for greater public duties, but William concentrated on losing weight. Further down the monarchy, strategic change driven by sorrow signifies a change from passively waiting to instead vigorously accepting their fate. The psychological wounds caused by recent family. This was exacerbated by disasters, making Forest Lodge is a command as well as a place to stay. Hub for the future. The death of the Duchess of Kent's actions go beyond causing the royal family to experience personal grief. It has caused a profound change in the way the monarchy sets itself up for the future. This crucial time, far away beyond merely being mentioned in royal history, acts as a stark reminder for Catherine and William that they will reinterpret the significance of the crown in a quickly evolving world. Her passing was a significant catalyst for their expedited planning for the throne and has expanded their perspective for a modernized monarchy that strikes a balance between custom with significance, obligation with majesty, and relatability with groundedness. By assembling opinions from royal analysts, historical patterns, and public opinion, it is evident on sites such as X that the institution is being reshaped by loss in ways that will reverberate for many years. At the center of this change is the couple's dedication to a simplified William's notion of monarchy, supported for many years, but currently sought with fresh immediacy. Specialists drawing from palace insider interviews and evaluations in publications such as the Times note that senior leadership's declining numbers in the royal family, made worse by the Duchess's absence, have compelled a reassessment of roles. Catherine and William are putting high-impact causes first, such as sustainability of the environment and mental places, where the Duchess advocates for health. She discreetly set an example for others. Discreet charity that promotes music, community welfare, and education serve as a guide for their strategy. Meaningful labor as opposed to extravagant ceremony. This change reflects the public's desire for a monarchy that explains why it belongs in a democratic society. According to recent surveys, actions carried out by YouGov in 2025 demonstrate increasing backing for a smaller royal operation, and 62% of British people support an emphasis on concrete contributions rather than customary pomp. Catherine's impact is especially noteworthy in this instance. Her own health issues, extensively discussed by People and other publications, have deepened her decision to support mental health actions, reiterating the Duchess's emphasis on service driven by empathy. By financing their relocation to Forest Lodge privately, a decision that was validated by briefings at Kensington Palace, the pair shows financial responsibility and avoidance of the disputes that hampered previous royal renovations. This is similar to the Duchess's quiet strategy, staying away from the public coffers to preserve goodwill. Their choice to forego live-in employees is a respite from centuries-old conventions, which emphasizes a desire for genuineness, establishing a home where Charlotte, George, and Louis may have a similar upbringing to typical ones. The wider ramifications go beyond boosting the monarchy's reputation around the world. Catherine and William get ready for the throne. They are writing astry that reverberates beyond Britain, attractive to younger generations who respect openness and intent. Social media responses to X emphasize this, with users complimenting their family-first philosophy as a welcome change from antiquated grandeur, yet there are still issues. Modernization and heritage must be balanced, runs the danger of offending conservative royalists, as The Guardian's historians pointed out. The death of the Duchess, by hastening this change, has pushed William into a beautiful dance with Catherine, preserving her legacy and paving the way that's uniquely theirs. At this time also denotes a change of culture inside the palace. The pair's emphasis on raising their kids away from the spotlight of London, based on the Duchess's treasured seclusion, implies a monarchy that puts health above appearances. Using her example as a guide, as demonstrated in her silent backing for nonprofits such as Future, they are creating a legacy that is long-lasting and flexible, guaranteeing the crown is still significant in today's disbelief of inherited privilege. The idea of a monarchy that arises not only endures but also flourishes, combining domestic peace with duty in a way that seems incredibly contemporary. As we wrap up this in-depth exploration of the earthquake brought about by the Duchess of Kent's demise, her death is evidently more than Prince's personal loss. Princess Catherine and William were there, the impetus behind a daring move toward their inevitable positions as monarchs. This particular moment, filled with both grief and resolve, has prepared the ground for a redesigned monarchy that strikes a balance between centuries-old customs and the demands of contemporary society. The repercussions of this occasion, assembled from the palace insider reports and statements, are altering the royal landscape already. And there are significant ramifications, not only for the family of Wales, but also for both the public and the institution it serves. Let's see what this new era has to offer, means the significance of it, and how it asks everyone to reconsider the monarchy's position in the modern world. The Duchess's departure date of September 4, 2025, as Buckingham Palace has confirmed, was more than just saying goodbye to a loved one. It served as a loud cry for Catherine and William to step forward sooner, more than expected. Insiders, talking to publications such as the According to the News, say the pair has been silently getting ready for this change. However, her passing sped up their chronology. No one forewarns William with haste with a lengthy speech about simplifying the monarchy, currently considering this to be a distinguishing time to carry out his idea, a more realistic, slimmer crown that gives priority to problems such as mental health, sustainability of the environment, and family principles. Catherine, fortified by her own personal struggles, is intensifying her support of early childhood development, taking cues from the Duchess's enduring dedication to charity and education. When combined, they're establishing a monarchy with a less far away, more human, and more linked to the pulse of the public. Shift is significant outside of the palace. Walls. Data compilation by royal historians. Note from previous successions that such loss-related events frequently reinterpret the course of monarchy. The Duchess's impact stemming from her silent service, this compassion reverberates in William and Catherine's denial of opulence for authenticity. Their selection of Forest Lodge as a permanently financed base, according to The Sun, privately, it signals a respite from Buckingham's luxury palace. Complying with the public's request for responsibility by eschewing living employees, they're adopting an active family lifestyle. Life, a gesture that appeals to contemporary Britain's principles of self-reliance and relatability. Social media, particularly sites such as X, buzzes with users' approval, lauding their practical strategy while discussing if it could dilute royal mysteriousness. To the general populace, this new age provides an opportunity to interact with a monarchy that is representative of modern facts. Surveys such as those conducted by YouGov demonstrate increasing backing for a less crowning ceremony, and William and Catherine are exactly what she is providing. Their attention to Prince George's upbringing and Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte, which typically reflects the Duchess's parenting philosophy, guarantees the next generation is safe yet ready. Even though this loss was extremely difficult, it has sparked an innovative idea, one that guarantees consistency and openness, as well as a monarchy that prospers, not in terms of spectacle, but in terms of content. What do you think? Does this daring turn toward a contemporary, relevant monarchy excite you? Or does it deviate excessively from the customs that characterize the monarchy? Your opinions in the space provided here. Go through everyone and click the like button if this story moved you. Tell others about it. Other fans of the royal family, and subscribe to follow every development in this saga. The throne is more accessible than before, and with Catherine and William present, a new royal dawn is dawning at the helm. Stay tuned for more.